The Diablo 4 development team has been teasing us with some truly massive announcements. And there's also a wealth of intriguing information about PvP, news for the overlay map, ray tracing and much more that I've compiled in this video for your viewing pleasure. My name is GameSensei and this channel is all about looters, open world games and RPGs. If you're as passionate about these topics as I am, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all the latest news and developments. Let's kick things off with some fantastic news from Blizzard. Diablo 4 has officially gone gold, meaning the game has entered the manufacturing phase. For those unfamiliar with the term gone gold, I've tracked down an explanation from Global Community Development Director Adam Fletcher. It means the game has made a master gold disk for manufacturing, thus the game can be replicated and go into manufacturing or print for distribution. Since PCs exclusively receive digital games, this is now a console exclusive feature. So there you have it, Diablo 4 has officially reached the final phase of development. Any further changes will come in the form of day 1 or post-launch patches. But rest assured, vanilla Diablo 4 is in production. Definitely good news. Now let's dive into one of the community's most significant recent concerns, the respec costs in the recently released endgame trailer. In an interview with Games Radar about PvP in Diablo 4, developers also addressed the cost of resetting your character. According to lead game producer Kaylee Calder, the numbers we saw in the trailer are final. That's 11 million gold to fully reset the Paragon board at launch. However, the devs make it clear that we'll earn enough gold to ensure the numbers don't appear as scary when Diablo 4 releases. So that's a little sigh of relief for all of us, confirming what many of you have already suspected. The interview about the Fields of Hatred, by the way, continues to be quite captivating as it progresses. So make sure to stick around until the end of the video if you don't want to miss out on any of the juicy PvP details. Let's move on to the overlay map, which I discussed in my last video. It seems that the absence of this feature in Diablo 4 was intentional. Dynamite on Twitter asked, "A map overlay did not make the cut, could we see it in the future, Rod?" Pretty much every ARPG has one nowadays. Rod Ferguson goes ahead and explains, "Never say never, but honestly our hope is to keep refining the map system so that we find the right solutions that don't require covering the entire screen with a map." So there you have it, don't expect an overlay map anytime soon. Diablo 4 aims to keep the user interface as clean and uncluttered as possible. A neat feature I hadn't noticed in 90 hours of playing the beta is that you can set a waypoint on the full screen map that will guide you to your destination. Honestly, I didn't expect this at all in an ARPG. It's an incredibly cool tidbit and I have Steven from the comment section of my last video to thank for bringing it to my attention. The gaming artist asked on Twitter, "What's the performance mode for Diablo 4 on Xbox Series X? Also, is ray tracing going to happen?" Rod Ferguson replied, 4K 60 FPS with HDR on Series X. Ray tracing is a post-launch feature though. While I'm really surprised that 4K 60 FPS with HDR is in fact the performance mode, it's a good thing to know that there are plans for ray tracing support even if it comes after the initial release. Now let's talk about a subject that was also discussed in my last video, shields for Barbarians and a potential tease for a new class. Rod Ferguson clarified, "I wasn't trying to tease, I was just trying to say that the reason that you didn't see anything about Barbarians using shields was because we're leaning into the Weapon Master fantasy of them using 4 weapons and so they can't use a shield. Sorry for confusion." I think that's great. To me, Barbarians are the ultimate frontliners who rely on sheer willpower and strength to withstand anything, making shields unnecessary. If at some point a paladin is introduced, that fantasy of wielding a shield will be served too. Until then, you'll see me slicing through hordes of monsters with 4 weapons in hand. A good question that I've been asked several times already comes from Oscar on Twitter. Do I need to play the previous Diablo games first? Rod Ferguson replies, "You do not unless you want to just for fun." So if you're new to the franchise, first of all, welcome, and you can dive right into Diablo 4 without having played the previous games. And if you've enjoyed the video up to this point, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated and really helps me and the channel. If you'd like to support the channel on your next game purchase, check out my partner Instant Gaming for the best prices on, for example, gift cards for your respective store. The links can be found in the video description. This way you save some money while simultaneously supporting the channel. Either way, thank you all for your ongoing support. Now let's move on to the two biggest topics of this video. Adam Fletcher has reminded us on Twitter of the developer update livestream on Thursday, April 20th at 11 AM PDT. He says this will be a big one, aiming for 90 minutes as we dive deeper in endgame, class and dungeon beta learnings and more. Lots to talk about. So I'd say get popcorn and your favorite beverages ready. But Rod Ferguson also chimes in saying, wait, is this the one with the secret announcement, or are we not talking about that yet? I would hate to give it away. By the way, so glad I'm using Slack right now and not something public like Twitter to ask that. That would be the worst. And of course, Rod is joking a bit, but I think we can still expect a big surprise with a secret announcement on Thursday. At least I'm very excited and will definitely be there on time. And as always, afterward a complete summary will be available for you right here on the channel. And now let's discuss the PvP interview by Games Radar with Kaylee Calder and Associated Game Director Joseph Pipiora, who shared some intriguing details about the Fields of Hatred. As we know, PvP is entirely optional, and the only exclusive rewards obtainable solely in PvP are purely cosmetic. You can avoid it completely. Additionally, it's opt-in, so you must actively confirm your participation and won't accidentally enter a PvP zone. The Fields of Hatred are one of many Diablo 4 endgame activities, and they aren't designed to be fair. True to their name, the Fields of Hatred are meant to be a place where ugliness, unfairness and cruelty reign supreme. Brace yourselves for the possibility of being ambushed by other players while participating in an event or battling a PvE boss. Outsmarting your opponent, dodging attacks at the right moment, using potions and outlasting your enemy's potions, all of these factors play a significant role in the Fields of Hatred. Fields of Hatred are murder grounds. This is not a place for honor, according to Joseph Pipiora. The development team is well aware that players will discover powerful combinations that might need adjustments, but they don't want to sap the fun from the mode by excessively nerfing it. What we don't want to do is balance the fun out of the situation or make you feel significantly less powerful when you go into these environments, Pipiora says. So we are careful to ensure that if you are overpowered in the PvP environment, you are fighting other overpowered PvE or PvP enemies as part of this. The team isn't aiming to make PvP a balanced mode since there's no traditional matchmaking in the usual sense. However, some level of regulation is intended. If you're a newcomer to PvP, you won't immediately face off against the absolute PvP elites who could send you to oblivion within seconds. You'll more likely encounter players with similar item and power levels. To me, all of this sounds very much like a work in progress or go with the flow approach, and I think that's fantastic. The Fields of Hatred strongly remind me of the vanilla Dark Zone vibes from The Division. A place where anything is initially possible, where you must constantly watch your back and trust no one. It has the potential to turn out absolutely thrilling. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video and would be delighted if you could give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to check out my previous video displayed on the screen. I wish you all an awesome day and I'll catch you in the next one.